Welcome back, everyone. Going into the second hour here of Court of Swords, week 49. Adam, what's up?
Yeah. So the three of you, led by Yom, head north through the water, and Thorn and Salix, you have not seen this room, but when you do, I'll give you a refresher. So it's a chamber about half as big as the original, maybe 60 feet around, kind of vaguely round. The left to the west and north kind of ends of it are a deep pool of probably the cleanest water you've seen so far. There's still like some places where you can see through it. It's not totally mucked up with the fungus or the floating goop. And then on the right, in the northeast corner, there's a shelf of stone, upon which a pile of bodies in various shades of decomposition lie. It looks like they were killed and thrown here, or died buried under a pile of bodies. There's maybe 30 or 40 bodies all told. The ones on the bottom have decomposed enough that they're basically just bones and mush. But the ones on top are still more or less human shaped. They're all naked. And in some places, their flesh is being consumed by the mushroom that grows out of it and the cluster of mushrooms around its base. They've started to sort of liquefy together. So where like the dead face of one body lies pressed up against the hand of another, they've started to sort of merge with this fibrous material that's growing between them and consuming them. Growing up out of the pile, around the base, there are a bunch of kind of like dark brown to black with like bits of red coral-like fungi that are growing up out of the pile. And they almost seem to be undulating slightly, as if growing out of the bottom of the seabed. So they move slightly. And as you enter, I think they like lean slightly towards you. These little sort of blood fronds are moving up out of the base structure. And then like a tree trunk, there is a large kind of off-white chunk that comes up, and then a huge circular sort of sphere of fungal matter. It's a dark red and dotted with slight discoloration blotches on it. The whole room is humming slightly. And there are two of the little sort of purple fungi kneeling down in front of the pile. They don't seem to notice you because you're moving so stealthily.
So sneaky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're protected by Salix's magic.
I can't actually see what's happening up there.
Yeah, and now remember, you won't be able, because of Pass Without Trace, you do have a silence effect on you. So anyone within 30 feet of Salix can't. You're affected by silence. So you can't speak to one another.
Let's see.
He's helping us too, like with the we're stepping in water, right? So that. So we're not.
Yeah, what's interesting, I guess, is that as you do that, as you walk through the water, you're leaving no ripples. The water seems to just simply ignore that you're there at all. So there's no rippling. There's none of that.
So I think at this point, Salix kind of takes the lead because this is new magic to them, I'm assuming. So she like walks up to the two of them and kind of grabs both of them by the hand and just is still muttering under her breath, trying to keep her concentration, knowing that there are all these different things around, and just starts continuing to walk forward, like dragging them on, like don't stay, like being very quiet under her breath, muttering this tune to keep them protected.
Okay. Right. As you approach, you can see that the walls of this chamber seem marked with the same kind of fungal growth, as though someone painted in strokes onto the wall with some sort of growth material, and then spores bloom along that material. There are primitive drawings of figures, looks to be like humans chasing animal figures on one wall. You can see what looks like a drawing of the moon, like a painting of the moon on one side, over a bunch of smaller sort of human figures that appear to be paying it homage. There's these sort of very primitive kind of fungal cave paintings that are scattered about the inside of this shrine.
What do you want us to do, Aaron? You got us by the hands, Aaron. Where are we going?
Alex is not focusing on anything other than just continuing to walk forward. So if you guys are interested in stopping, you would have to actually like.
Well, yeah, I mean, you get to the entrance of the cave, and you can see at the end of your vision that the cave wall ends. This is a closed chamber. There's nowhere to go through it.
Yeah. So then at this point, Salix turns around to Yam and to Thorn and says, "Do we explore here? Are we in the wrong place?"
So you actually can't speak. Your silence. Part of your spell is that you're all like you don't emit sound.
It's all just gestures, I would imagine, and facial expression.
Yeah.
Can we even see each other?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not invisible.
That would be very problematic. If we were invisible to each other. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just walking through, right? Staying as close as I need to be, like 30 feet, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And we just see these two little guys, these big, bigger mushroom things. Are those like actual things, or is it just like decorative? Like,
Yeah, that's the one big mushroom. There's a smaller one kind of growing out of the base of it, but yeah, in the center of the room, that's the jam.
And you said we just see like painting kind of stuff like from before, just all around the walls.
Yeah.
All right, Yam's gonna start moving forward, ready a hand axe, and when he gets to the edge of her spell or outside of it, he would like to throw it at the large thing, the large mass.
What are you throwing at it? Your hand axe?
Yep.
Okay, sure. So you want to do it from a position of invisibility?
Well, I was gonna say I'm just gonna start moving forward. If she's not coming, if she's turned around and is leaving, then Yam's moving ahead anyway.
Would Thorn know like that's good? Does this break the spell or something like that, or is it just? I guess he has no idea, huh?
Yeah.
Shit.
But anyway, wherever I can.
Okay. Yeah. So you don't even have to roll. The thing is a stationary object.
Yeah.
So yeah, you hurl your axe and it thunks into the side of the largest mushroom. The two little sporelings kind of like start suddenly at your presence and start moving towards you menacingly.
Well, I will move forward and brandish my axe, ready to chop these bitches down.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and make an attack
Okay.
on the nearest one.
Character sheet. Doo.
Okay. Yeah, you hit. All right. So the first one approaches you. You bury your great axe in it, and it tumbles to the ground. And then the second one lunges out to try to hit you, and gets a 14. So it doesn't. Sort of just like batters itself against your armor.
Right.
And then you can make another attack. Okay. So the second one you miss. The two of you are tangling. Did either of the other two want to do anything? You're just like watching this happen.
Yeah. Can we use bows while we're inside of this thing, or we have to completely break this veil in order to engage in an attack?
So Pass Without Trace is it gives you a bonus to stealth check. You're not invisible, so if you do something, they will notice you. You'll break stealth essentially. Yeah, they just don't have a passive perception high enough to notice you at all. Like
Thorn will fire an arrow at this one, but he's still grappling.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
That should be sneak attack, so I'll get the 3d6 if I hit. Advantage.
You have advantage.
Yeah, advantage, right. Boop.
Yep.
Nice. There's that, and then roll 3d6.
All right. Yeah. I mean, the two of you make short work of these things. So as quickly as it began, it's over. The two sprouts tumble. One of them falls into the water and just floats on the surface. The other tumbles backwards into the pile.
Can I get half an arrow back?
No. Round down. Your arrow breaks off.
You say this was like a giant mushroom growing out of the ground, like a trunk and everything?
Yeah, it's growing out of the bodies. Yeah, it has all these like sort of roots essentially growing through it.
Okay. Well, Yam has the intention of coming up to this thing and then chopping it down with his axe. And whatever may happen, he's not really worried about it.
Okay. All right. So you just go up to it like it's a tree and start hacking it down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So again, it has the cloud of spores, and it's going to take you some time. Do you want to try to hold your breath the whole time?
He's probably not even thinking about it this time.
As Yam's, is this loud or whatever? As Yam's like about to start hacking, Thorn's like, hold on there, big guy. What if we just set this thing on fire and leave? Wouldn't that do the same thing? Hacking it up. I mean, they got spores. You don't know what's going to happen to you.
And as you say that, my face kind of lightens up a little bit, and I turn around with a sinister smile and be like, yeah, burn it down.
At this point, Salix is like still kind of under her shadow and sneaks up behind the two of them and just like instantly like breaks this thing, not aware that that's not proper etiquette.
Sure.
It's really awkward. And is like, you know the smoke's gonna make you breathe stuff in too, right?
I don't plan on being here while that happens.
Okay.
Also, I mean, lighting all this wet fungus on fire is going to be very, very difficult. I mean, you could set a quick fire with the oil, but the oil will burn up before it consumes the stuff. But you could do it. It would just take some time, and it would be messy. There'd be a lot of like thick black smoke.
The thing that he's hacking down is already dead, though, right? It's not still alive.
Well, he hasn't started yet. He was interrupted. Right? He was going to take the step forward when Thorn was like, "Hey, hold on."
Yeah, and with this new information that you have now, Max, Yam will kind of look at you expectant, like, well.
I think Thorn's like, all right, go ahead, hack.
All right, now I'll take the first swing at it then.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so you've already hit it. You hit it once by throwing the thing, and now you start chopping away at it. And after the first swing, I think you hear like a scratching at the back of your head. You hear a voice, and it says, "What are you doing?"
And I'll shake my head and hack at it again.
Okay, yeah. So you like thunk, dig another axe swing in, and it says, "Your efforts are fruitless, meat creature."
Hack at it again.
Okay, and it says, "Your understanding is flawed."
And I'll actually say back this time, only thing I understand is I need to get you out of here. That's what we came down here to do. You're not talking me out of it. Hack it again.
Yeah, I'm not talking you out of it. Go ahead, keep hacking away.
He's like, no one else can hear this. So you take another swing at it, and it's just about to like tip over. Right? You're digging your way through, and it says, "You cannot kill us this way."
Well, I'm damn well going to try.
Yeah, sure. And so the last swing, like, chops through the other side. There's a cracking as the big fungus sort of tips over. It falls into the pile of bodies. Spores kind of like fly up in the air in a cloud. Part of it tumbles sideways. Some of the bodies get shoved down into the water, and they break up and kind of float around in the soup. And there's a moment of quiet after the splashing ends, and then you just hear, "You see, nothing has changed." There's like little like spores floating in the air.
Thorn's just like, great job. We go now.
There's a voice in my head that says it's not over. And start like hacking at the stump that's still on the ground.
Looking at Sorrow like,
So at this point, Sorrow recalls that when she had breathed in the spores, she started hallucinating and having all these terrible flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So her, without saying anything, runs up to Yam and kind of as he's hacking, she's just trying to grab him by the arm, and she's just telling him like it's not real, and trying to grab him and pull him out. Because she doesn't. If he's seen anything as bad as what she was saying, no wonder he's angry and going crazy. But we would have no way to know that, right? So she's just trying to get him out of whatever she thinks that he's seeing, and just starts trying to pull him by the arm. He's obviously, kind of stronger than her, so she's
Yeah,
not
you
well, it's like a struggle, but he's hacking and she's like dragging his other arm. Like
you take a step towards him and you start wrestling with him, and you notice that like when he swings his axe, the axe occupies 6 or 7 places at once as it moves, and you're kind of having a hard time tracking like where it is. Like he's swinging it, but he's already hit, and he's like pulling back for the other swing, but he hasn't swung the axe yet. And maybe he turns to look at you when you go to grab him, and his face is like a long kind of like a blur that turns towards you.
Is Thorn seeing some fucked up shit too?
You just see the two of them kind of like tussling a little.
And Yama will say, it's not over yet. This should have ended it. He didn't die for nothing.
What the fuck is going on? Are you two okay? Like, can we go?
So she's still just yelling kind of at him like it's not real, and trying pretty failure type, trying to pull him out of this whatever he thinks he's swinging at. And she's starting to get panicked that she can't help him. He's not listening to her, right? So she's just pulling on, going, it's not real, trying to pull him away.
Yeah, I think that after striking it some more and then like still looking around confused, start looking for someone else or something else that maybe keeping the waters from being revitalized instantly, as he thought it would just fix it like that.
Yeah. And so you kind of like, you look down, you're like looking around, and one of the less decomposed bodies like lying on the pile. So it's a naked human man, and his chest has sort of decomposed and fallen in, and then from the inside of his chest cavity, there are all of these like blue and gray little sort of umbrella-shaped mushrooms that have started to cluster and like grow up out of where his organs were. And he looks up at you, and you hear the voice. Like he blinks a couple of times, and even though his eyes are all cloudy and like dead, you can see his eyelids blink a few times. And he looks up at you, and he says, "Do not waste your energy."
Well, as Yam sees that, he's just axe in hand, just leaps after this thing and tries to sink his axe into it.
Okay.
So as he like goes to lurch forward, Salix kind of loses grip on his arm and just falls over.
It tumbles backwards.
Yeah, and like looks at Thorn and just says like, "Help me!" And she's trying to go back after him to pull him away. And now she's really panicked, like looking at Thorn, asking for him to come help.
Thorn kind of walks up there, like comes up behind Yam and just slaps him over the back, like just like open palm.
So why don't the two of you, like Thorn, you and Salix, make an athletics roll. One of you roll with advantage from the other helping, and then you can oppose with your athletics. We'll see if they're able to like drag you away from the pile. All right, so the difficulty to beat is 18. Yam, go ahead and make that roll.
Oh, sorry, I thought they were rolling. My bad. What was I rolling again?
Just roll athletics against their
athletics.
Yeah, against their roll.
Where'd my page go? There it is. Okay, sorry. Athletics.
Oh yeah, okay. So you just throw both of them aside. What does it look like? So they go to grab you to like pull you away, like, hey, come on, calm down.
Well, I'm not trying to hurt my friends, but
However, this is role play.
I guess they're gonna try. He's shorter than they are, so they're gonna try to grab him like around the shoulder, like the elbows. He's just gonna like fling elbows and just keep trying to go forward.
Or just like
Mostly it's flailing with just.
Stop it, dude! Come on.
So meanwhile, elsewhere in the cavern, Maj, you are waking up slowly. Now, what is the last thing you remember before you ended up in this foul position, which I will tell you more about in a second. But where were you before you were captured?
I walked into the mouth of the cave like the party did, and was met by all of the mushroom kin, as it were. And thought it was just kind of the gods.
When you wake up, is this like a startled awake, or do you come to more like slowly?
The gods play with me, so I'm just kind of like going with it.
Right. Okay. Right. So you awaken, and a few things occur to you. You are naked. That is the first thing that occurs to you. Your clothes and things have been taken away from you. You can't feel the ground. You feel like you're standing, but you're not. You can't feel the ground. You're in total darkness. Something is like around you. You can't move your arms or legs, though you're not paralyzed. You can still feel them. And you can feel that at least like part of your face is being like dripped on. There's some kind of like warm viscous fluid dripping on you from above. And what woke you up is the sound of shouting echoing somewhere else in wherever the hell you are. You can hear shouting echoing through the darkness.
I don't even know where. You said I'm like stuck, right? I'm like hanging. Can I get a sense of if I try to like wriggle or move my body? Am I constricted?
Let's have you make a roll. You can make an athletics check.
Okay.
Keep in mind that your
11.
modifier is going to be a little different because you don't have
Right.
you don't have the same strength as you normally would.
Yeah, it's low. It's a 6-ish.
Okay. Yeah. So you like struggle against wherever this stuff that's holding you, and it doesn't hurt or anything, but you're definitely stuck in place. You can breathe fine. There's nothing obscuring your mouth or your nose. Obviously, you can hear.
Are my hands restrained? Like, do I control them?
One of your arms is like pinned to your side, and the other is kind of like across your chest and like stuck there. And if you move your fingers, you can kind of feel your fingers moving against your shoulder.
Yeah.
But you're kind of pinned in place.
Okay. I think after realizing my situation and realizing that the usual things of getting out of here didn't work when I tried to like brace and break the muck keeping me constrained, I call out to Nadi and just say, Nadi, what are we doing? I just came to speak with you as normal. There's no need for this. You know who I am.
Yeah, your voice, though it comes from your throat, somewhat parched and cracked, is the only thing you hear, echoing slightly in the muffled darkness. There's maybe the sound of a few drops of water that are still drying up in the cave, but Nadi does not respond to your words.
Okay. These voices that I heard, how far away would I guesstimate? Are they pretty far in the distance?
Near enough that if you shouted, they would hear you. But as for distance, hard to say. You don't really know where you are. You can just hear it echoing off the stone walls.
Sure. Okay. I guess I instinctively just roll my eyes, even though no one can see it because it's pitch black and I'm probably alone in this room. And I just say, "All right, we'll play a game." And I just start screaming, "Help! Please, come find me!"
And you're shouting this in common?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So while Salix and Yam are kind of tangling, I think Thorn, you're the only one that's able to hear the sound, right? You hear a voice, you hear someone shout, someone shout for help.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm assuming Salix and Yam still hacking away and being crazy. Thorn's just like, what the fuck? Looks to Salix, maybe because she's the most sane and present one. It's like, do you hear that? Listen.
Help! You can hear me.
Is she still freaking out, or is she like having a panic attack too?
Yeah, so like as you call her name, she starts to like refocus and has to physically stop and kind of put her hands like over her head to like listen to what you're saying because it's so hard with all of these other things.
So when you turn to look at Thorn, right? You know that Thorn is saying something. You turn to him, and when you see him, all you hear coming out of his mouth is like meow, meow, meow. Not actually words.
That's all that's coming out of my mouth?
Yeah. Just like cat noises.
So she as like realizing that there's nothing that she can hear or understand, she kind of scrambles up. She's still on the ground, right? From where?
Yeah, he's Yum
her
pushed
down.
on the wall.
Yeah, so she gets up and she walks over, real creepy like, right? So she walks over to Thorn and she just kind of grabs his face like in her hands and she's staring at him like in his eyes. But
As you're doing it,
has
like, Thorn's like, what are you doing?
eyes, right? Her
What the fuck?
eyes are
What is
all
happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. His fur as you reach up. Do you wear gloves?
No, she just has
Okay.
the bracers on. So just her human like hands.
His fur is very soft. He's very soft and warm.
So at this point she's not, it's not an angry like
No.
face,
Yeah.
right? It's trying to understand what he's saying. So it's kind of gentle, but she's like you would to like a kid kind of underneath their eyes, right? Like when you would like touch their face. She's like brushing the fur like under his eyes, but it's intimidating because she has these demonic eyes, right? Everything is black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see Thorn. You can see yourself reflected perfectly in the dark spheres of her eyes.
Yeah, I think. Okay, so Thorn, this flashes through his head. Like they all got kind of worse as they got closer to this mushroom thing, presumably inhaled spores, and she's really freaking him out right now. So he just like takes her and just goes like that, just to push her back in the water, not like hurt her.
Just push her away from you.
Push her away and land her in the water. Maybe that'll, snap her out of whatever the hell she's doing.
Okay. Can you make Salix make a dexterity save just to see if you tumble over the edge?
Yeah.
I'll say DC 10. You didn't push it that hard. Okay. All right. So yeah, she tumbles over the edge, trips over one of the bodies, and then splash lands in the murky water. There's a splash. And for you, Salix, it all happens very slowly. Like you feel yourself falling backwards.
It's like dread.
Yeah, you feel yourself falling backwards. You hit the water, and it all kind of like flies up around you in slow motion, and then you're underwater all of a sudden. You're in this like gross kind of fungal soup, and then you like pop up out of the water.
So like when you fall asleep and you have that feeling of falling and you like snap to it.
Yeah.
That's kind of exactly what she goes through. Is that was asleep and then awake, but you get that jarring thing. So
Yeah.
awkwardly she kind of like scrambles out of the water. She's got kind of fungus and crap in her horns and like stuck in this bracelet that she kind of wears around her head, and she like trying to get it all out of her face and figure out and collect herself like where she is.
Yeah, and when you come up out of the water, everything has a faint kind of halo or like a haze to it, but you can hear the shouting from somewhere else. This like faint, this faint like voice calling.
So she looks back at Thorn and she's like, "Is that what you were talking about? Is that what you were trying to tell me?"
Yes. What did you hear? Why did you pet my face?
I mean, you just sounded really cute, like a little tiny cat.
He just turns, like looks at Yum.
And so Yum, you've made a complete mess of the pile, right? It's just there's chunks of decomposed stuff everywhere. You're breathing hard. You're covered in goop. You don't hear the voice, but
it's never ending. We gotta kill him. Hack.
All right.
I'm still howling fungal spores.
Thorn. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
The Thorn comes up behind him and thinks about it for a second, and then he's just like, "All right." He grabs some rope from his pack. I'm sure I have rope in there. Whatever thing that I have in there. I think what do I have? Actually, don't know in there. Whatever. I have rope. And tries to like throw it around and over him and like just leap backwards, like just an acrobatic move,
Mm-hmm.
So you just take them both away. So just like all his body weight, just pulling and then going backwards. So he can't.
And it's just to like lasso him and then
lasso him, yeah, with like a very just crude, not even like a big thing, just more like right over him and then just one motion, pull him back. and then go over the cliff into the, or the little ledge there into the water, just because obviously he's just going to keep throwing him off if he tries to like grapple with
Use
him.
the rope to pull him away from the cavern. Okay. Make an acrobatics check. See if you can rodeo up this.
My
this
acrobatics is sick. Woo!
and then same thing. Oppose it with athletics. Yam.
Damn it!
All right,
Does
so
he win?
it's a tie. So the two of you are like caught up in this moment. Like you can't pull him away, but he's not like fully like you've snapped him out of it enough for just like a minute to like talk to him.
Yeah.
So yeah, Yam, you get tangled up in this rope, and suddenly your attention is pulled away, and you notice your friends are still here in this cave. And maybe that's when you hear the other voice. Now you can just yank yourself free and go to town. But yeah, then you hear someone. JP, what do they hear from the other cavern?
After like 3 or 4 yelps, or helps rather, I start to just have conversations with myself. You just hear like mutterings off in the distance. You're not really sure what's being said, but it sounds like a conversation.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you can hear it. Someone is talking, and you can hear it echoing off the.
Is there any visual cue for Thorn to pick up on that he's like listening or different?
I mean, Yam's eyes are just like huge black circles, right? Like the color, the iris is just vanished at the edges of his like massively dilated eyes, and he's breathing hard, and all of his like beard is just like dusted with spores.
But I think after you like snap me out of it for a second, the initial response would be a pull away, but I hear this conversation in the distance to be like,
"Are you still tripping, or do you hear that shit?" Yam,
Who the fuck is that?
yeah, exactly. Let's go and find out.
And he still tripping balls, but he's gonna turn and like just kind of lead the way as you go forward, or you lead the way. He'll follow you.
All right. Seeing that, he's just gonna walk over here. Is Sorrow like in the water still? Is she just laying there? Or?
It's a good question. I mean, yeah, you shoved her in the water, but she got back up, so she's standing in the water, but she's all like damp now.
Yeah, I'm just kind of trying to clean up all these bits of like muck and gross. Now that I know that Thorn has Yam kind of distracted from this thing, she's standing at the entrance of the opening to this cave, waiting for them to step that way and to follow their lead once they're ready.
All right, then Thorn's just going, kind of like making sure Yam's following along, like every now and then looking back.
Is the rope still around me? Like lead me with the rope? Maybe I held on to the end of it, and I'm just kind of like,
yeah. If you're still holding the rope, yes, he's using
like
the rope to lead you on. Like, come on, you dumbass, let's go.
I'm your drunk friend. You got to lead around. Like, oh, did I get him?
Okay, so y'all want to head towards the sound?
Wherever the sound is, yeah.
Okay, all right. So following the sound of talking, you head south back into the main chamber, and it sounds like it's coming from out east,
Okay.
from one of the eastern passages.
All right.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's coming from this tunnel. You can hear it echoing.
As you're definitely getting closer, you hear the conversation and start to like understand the words, and you just hear, "No, I'm not going to do that. Nope, I'm waiting. I'm just going to sit here and wait. She's toying with me."
All right. Continually forward.
Okay.
Maybe creeping around here as it gets louder, just to so as not like jump out because we have no idea what the hell we're about to see.
Yeah. So as you come to the end of the corridor, you can see a sort of globular shaped chamber. This one seems to dip in the middle, and there's a big pile of bones under the water. You can see some of them poking up. There doesn't seem to be much fungal growth on the surface. This doesn't seem to be like a growing chamber. Instead, all along the outside of the walls, there's maybe a 2 or 3 foot thick growth of a kind of ivory colored sort of sponge, like someone has sprayed like coagulating foam all over the walls. And you can see stuck in this foam several unconscious or dead humans. You can see maybe a woman and a man like next to her. and then another body kind of up. You can just see like a leg sticking out. But one of them appears to be alive and awake, though his sanity may be another question. What is? They can only see your face and maybe like part of your body, which is good because you're not wearing any clothes. What do they see, Maj? What does your face look like?
You see like a slightly dark-skinned young man, probably early 20s if you were to, although none of you are human, so you don't really care. You just see a slightly young human. He's bald. He has no eyebrows. He has no hair on his face, no hair on the parts of his body that you can see. And my eyes are just like pretty much wide open, just constantly scanning the room, especially as he hears you get closer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's not
looking
frantic,
around,
but it's more just like he's trying to catch any sense of light that he can to see what's happening.
Yeah, looking around blindly in the mostly dark. Yeah. So you can, Maj, you can hear the like sloshing of people moving through the water coming towards you. And then it sounds like they're nearby.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'll just say out loud as I hear like the footsteps stop, I'll say, "So, are you here to help?"
For role playing reasons, am I still high on spores or?
I mean, everything appears to be normal for you. Like you haven't heard the voice in a little while.
Oh, okay. Okay, go.
Yeah, I'd imagine you probably come out of it a little bit as you've been walking. And, like,
yeah, I mean, all three of you are covered in like all your clothes are like covered in like spore bits and like
Snooky Bear hasn't been reborn already. Oh well.
fungal stuff. Attached to you. Yeah.
Snooky, you've been reborn. Oh, it's a miracle.
I think Thorn walks up a little bit and like kind of like raises his hand just to see if he's like, can he see him? Because people are high on spores.
Yeah, I'll grab a little. We'll use this guy. I got a stand-in token for you.
Okay. I mean, I can't see it anyways, but
I'm gonna I'll set you up right now.
Gotcha. Can I see the hand wave in front of me? Is there enough light or no?
No. I think that the light spell like it dissipates off in the distance. So you can feel the air moving.
Right.
As someone approaches. But
so it's all dark in here, right? I can see just because of dark vision and all that, right?
Yes. Yeah. The three of you can see. Okay.
Okay. I think Thorn's gonna come over here and just kind of like see how close he can get.
I mean, if I hear footsteps moving closer, I'll try to communicate again and say, "So, did she send you? Is that what's going on here? Is this one of her tests?"
Who is she?
Oh, you speak. I heard other footsteps. Are you here alone?
No, I'm a six-legged animal.
I told you that there was more than one. I say that like off to the side. You hear the voice go off to the right. I turn back.
How much do we see? Like how much nakedness on a scale?
Just his face, basically just his face. There's this off-white kind of like fungus that he's stuck in. You can maybe see like a couple of fingers of his hand poking out.
Okay.
But he's human and he's obviously like very blind right now. He can't see at all.
So I told you there's more. I'm sorry, what was your question?
What? Who are you talking to?
Don't worry about that. Did you?
No, I'm very worried about that. This cave is very fucking weird. So who are you talking to?
You're not from this cave. What are you doing in here? Why would she let you in here?
I'll start stepping up.
My like head shifts to the noise in the room.
I think Thorn actually thinks about that for a second. Like, what are we doing? Looks at Yam, hoping that he's not tripping and actually has a little bit of clear
Shaking
head.
my head and looking at this body very suspiciously. We came here to try to see what's going on with the water. It's been dried up for weeks, months.
Right. That's what we're doing. What he said. That's what we're doing.
Oh.
And how far off the ground is he? Is he like hanging?
The whole cavern only goes like about 10 feet. He's maybe two feet off the surface of the water, so like 3 feet total. There's only like about a foot of water at the bottom. Big pile of bones in the middle.
And he's just held up by like a
He's stuck to the wall.
Stuck to
basically.
the wall. Okay.
Yeah, he's stuck up on the wall by like as if someone held him up and sprayed him with a fast drying foam, and he's kind of like stuck up in there.
Well, I'll take out my other hand axe since I didn't retrieve the other, and start kind of scraping away at the edge of it.
Wait,
Okay.
what?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
So when you cut into it, it emits, it oozes like a deep kind of ruby red, sweet smelling goo. This like thick kind of syrupy stuff like drips out of it and drips into the water and then sinks under the water.
Thorn also questions like Yam as he's doing it. Like, are you sure you really want to be freeing this guy right now? We don't even know his deal or anything about him at all.
Well, he could be the one behind all this. I'm going to check him out, and if he's suspicious,
Right,
I'm
check
gonna
this
kill
out.
him.
We're talking to him, right? So, hey, are you behind all this weird
Oh
guy?
yeah, he's just gonna tell you, yeah, I did everything. You found me, guys. Go ahead and slay me. But
I think you lost your
He's
planning
stuck to the wall.
privileges when you're the one who decided to be taken by the mushroom freaky weird.
if I was behind everything, the first thing I would do is stick myself to a wall so we can come find him and be a sitting duck.
Oh,
Genius. And
She's gotten
continue
much
on.
better at this, hasn't she? I just kind of.
You know what? Your plans are great so far. So I'm just gonna back up. You got this. Good luck.
See the if the gas is coming out, take a big hit.
Yeah, there don't seem to be any spores in this room.
Thorn's going over here into the corner, and he's just got a bow out, not aiming it. He's got a
So
bow.
Thorn, you walk back towards the wall, and you notice that at the edges, it appears that the wall and all the area, the thing that's covering it, might just be one big fungus, all like stuck up on the wall where everybody is hanging from. And at the edges, kind of like right over by the cave mouth, there are these little tiny, like millions of these little tiny sort of fronds that stick out and are kind of like waving gently, like cilia. They look like little teeth.
Okay.
And yeah, when every time that Yum chunks a piece out of it, cuts into it, the thing oozes this red syrup, and the fronds kind of like vibrate slightly.
Okay. As he notices that and he's backing up, he's just like, probably like move.
Okay. All right. So so Maj, you can feel yourself, like your own weight starting to pull you forward off the wall. You can feel something like whatever you're stuck in start to rip.
Okay. Can I hear like the cutting of
you're gonna fall? You're gonna fall in the water. Like you can feel your support structure coming apart as Yam hacks into this thing.
Okay. I'm assuming. Yeah, I get ready to like brace myself to fall. That's fine.
Okay.
Well, if I'm able to, cut him free, like one hand, holding him up. When I get it free, if I'm able to, I'm gonna try to grab him.
Okay. All right. So by the time you're hacking away this thing, by the time you've chopped away at it enough to get it free, it's like bled pretty profusely into the water. The water is like thick with this reddish goop. And yeah, he tumbles forth. There's a massive like ripping sound, like somewhere between like wet wood being broken, and he tumbles down into the water, a kind of wet red mess. It's a little like he's being born because he's all naked and hairless,
Yeah.
covered in blood. But it's not actually blood. It's just like weird mushroom fungus goo. Yeah, and he tumbles out into the thing, and you can see throughout the edges. I guess probably the two of you don't notice this, but Thorn, you're kind of on guard. You can see that the whole fungus has started to bleed. It's like broken apart in places, and this red goo is kind of collecting and dripping down into the water. But Maj, you're free.
Okay.
Of the wall.
Right.
Yeah, I like. Do you catch me? You said you had an
Well,
arm up.
I catch you and turn you around and shove you against the wall.
Okay. I'm definitely taller than you, but I'm just letting this all happen.
Oh yeah.
I say, what do you intend to do? You cut me free for a reason. Are you? I believe he wants to ask us questions.
As he's asking me, and I'm inspecting his body, like hands up in places he doesn't want them to be, as I'm looking for any fungal spores growing.
Oh,
out of him.
I don't resist. This is. I'm just along for the ride at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah, you got this angry spore-covered dwarf. It's like patting you down.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, so you
spin you
can
around,
see.
and as you speak, and stick my finger in your mouth and look in.
Yeah. Are you satisfied? Did she send you?
So Salix at this point has never seen a naked man, let alone a human man. And she knows that like humans are supposed to be scared of her, right?
Uh-huh.
She's
So he can't see you, but you can see all of what's going on there.
So
You
I'm
see
like
everything.
holding like Thorn by the shoulders and like peeking around, but like trying to hide, but also like really curious because this is a whole lot of junk that I have never seen before. So
Thorn's probably just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, so she's like atypical for what you would think of a tiefling. It's like this scary, like whatever. She's very, very timid, hiding behind Thorn, like peeking around, trying to see what's going on. And she like kind of nudges Thorn in the back, and she's like, "Tell him who we're trying to find."
Oh, a third voice.
Have you never seen a naked man before?
No, just tell him who we're supposed to see.
As I turn him around and I gasp, mushroom, and grab for the mushroom that I see. Oh God!
He's covered. Yeah, he's covered in sludge, but he seems to be free of any kind of spore infestation. Actually, why don't let's have you make a roll, Yum. Make an investigation check.
Yeah.
Oh God! You just conjured some really bad imagery in my head.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he seems, despite like being covered in this, and actually the red sludge is like sluicing off of him into the water. It seems to be like dripping off, leaving dry and a little bit sticky.
Quickly ask. Where's Naughty? What's happened here?
I should be asking you the same question. I assume she sent you. This is one of her tests, is it not?
No. At least we don't think so. We came to investigate the flow of water stopped. And there were these fungus.
But surely they wouldn't be sent here, right? I just kind of like look off to the side, turn back. Why are you here? I don't understand why you would. I believe a dwarf. I don't know the other two. Why are you here?
Well, I could ask you the same thing as well. We came to investigate, and we found you like this.
Well, but this is what I do. I go from god to god, and I'm like, can we move to where there's light? I have no idea what I'm looking at right now. I see for some reason there's light off to the side. I kind of like motion towards where the cave mouth, or this little cave mouth is.
I will cast the cantrip, produce flame in my hand, shedding a little bit of light as I realize that the poor human can't see anything.
Okay. Well, how much light does that give?
I don't think it's only like 10 feet. Let me check real quick.
Okay.
Produce flame.
Yeah, 10 foot, 20 feet total.
Yeah.
And 10 of doom. Okay, and then let's make it everybody can see. And I'll give light to the human. All right. All right. So you can see a very faint light now. And there's this dwarf holding a ball of flame in his hand. And then, there's some light. I'll get rid of Kishnago so that it takes that away. Okay.
While you're getting that ready, I'll ask, do you always visit the gods naked?
Of course not. I have clothes and... Speaking of, have you found any?
So as you're speaking, Thorn, you notice that the water around you and your tiefling friend has gotten like strangely like thick and kind of viscous, and it seems to be moving. Tendrils of the water are kind of like rippling and like lifting up, and there's this sort of blackish like fluid underneath, and you can see that there are several places in this cavern where the water is starting to kind of like vibrate slightly and take on a more gelatinous shape. When you notice this, we see that you look and you can see the water vibrating and starting to like lift up and separate. Maybe that's when we take our second break.
Damn it.
Cool.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. Let's take another
A trap that I had no chance of avoiding.
another break. We got 2 hours left to go. We'll be right back with more Court of Swords right after this. We'll see you then.